Okay, so the first step, find the y-intercept. How do you find y-intercept? Plug in 0 for x. So in this case, f of 0 equals 0 over negative 2. 0. So the y-intercept is an x-intercept, is the origin. It's right there. Okay, find the zeros of the function. Set the numerator equal to 0. Okay, but the numerator is only x. So if I set it equal to 0, x equals 0 is the 0. And we already have that point. Okay, find the vertical asymptotes. Set the denominator equal to 0. Okay, well, x squared minus x minus 2 is factorable. That's x minus 2 times x plus 1. Right, so what are the zeros of the denominator? 2 and negative 1. Right, so we have to say that the vertical asymptotes are x equals 2 and x equals negative 1. So let's draw those in. Okay. 2 is here. Negative 1 is here. Okay, how about horizontal asymptote? Based on the 3 rules, you would say denominator is higher power, which means y equals 0. So we have another asymptote here. So the horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. Okay, now we're left with, we got to plot points to fill in what we don't have. And we only have 1 point on the graph. You know, to me, we probably should put like 3 points in this part of the graph, maybe 2 points, 1 to the left and 1 to the right of this point. That'll probably show us what we need. And then maybe another 3 points over here. Okay? What you know for sure is there will be a piece of the graph to the left of that vertical asymptote, in between the 2 vertical asymptotes, and to the right of that. The only place on the graph that does not have a value of the function is negative 1 and 2. Everywhere else will have some piece of the function. Okay, so now let's do our table of values. Let me see what this one looks like so I don't cover up my space. 3 looks like that, so I could probably do there or there. I'll do my table of values over here. X and Y. So how about if we pick to the left of this vertical asymptote, I'm going to say negative 1.5, negative 3, and negative 5. And in, let's say, between the origin and that vertical asymptote, how about negative 1/2? And between the origin and x equals 2, how about 1? And then how about 3 points over here? I'll pick 2.5, 2.5, and then 4 and 6. So let me bring up the calculator. And file. Darn it. That's not it. I've already loaded it in here, but I don't know which one it is. Not that. Not that. That's it. No. Independent. Not that. Golly. doesn't show you, when you're, that's it. So in the table of values, second graph, negative 1.5, negative 3, negative 5, negative 0.5, 1, 2.5, 4, and I'm going to have to wait for a second on 6. Let's do the ones that we can. Negative 0.9, for our purposes, negative 0.3. Negative 0.9, negative 0.3. Negative 0.2, negative 0.4. Negative 0.2 and positive 0.4. Negative 0.5 and 1.4. And at 4, we know is 0.4. And then I can do the 6 because it's going to overwrite it. 6.21. I would say 0.2 for our purposes of graphing. So let's see, negative 1.5 is here, and that was negative 0.9. So it's about right there. Negative 3, negative 0.3. About there. Negative 5, negative 0.2. About there. So we can see that this branch must look like that. Okay, negative 0.5, positive 0.4. Positive 1, negative 0.5. So we can see this piece probably looks something like this. And then the last one, 1.4 is here. 4 is 0.4. 6 is 0.2. So there, that fleshes out the last piece. And if I go to the calculator and let it graph it, and is that close? We got the piece to the left, we got the piece in the middle, and we got the piece on top. So that's good.